All right, so what we're doing today is we're doing ecosystems and food webs, okay? Can you tell me a little bit about what you know about food webs and ecosystems?
Ecosystems is where a bunch of animals live.
Okay, ecosystems like, in the jungle, would a jungle be an ecosystem?
Mhm.
Okay, what about a swamp? Would that swampland?
Yeah.
Okay. What about food webs? What do you know about food webs?
Food webs are the order of animals that eat which animal?
Okay.
Like a fish eats a smaller fish, a bigger fish eats a smaller fish.
Okay. So we're going to use word mapping. Excuse me. And we're going to use this website called Poplet. Okay, so we're going to use Poplet in order to do your food web. So, and it's actually word mapping, which is in my book at 3.26. The strategy is to put word related to your topic in the circle in the middle of your page. All right, so you're going to do that, and then you're going to draw lines out to other words that connect to the word in the circle. What branches out can be other single words and that are related to the topic or details that support the topic. All right, so you're going to look back at your map to see what surprises you and what connects. You're going to go ahead and write about that after we get done, okay?
Mhm.
Then move to your draft and include some of what you mapped, all right? So I'm going to read you a little bit from a book. This book is called Food Webs, Who Eats What? So just to give you a little, I know you know a little bit about it already, but we're going to go ahead and read this just as a refresher for you. So animals eat whatever they can find in their habitat. Many feed only on plants, some feed only on meat, and others eat a mixture of the two. So just like you were talking about, so what would be a plant? Somebody who eats just plants?
A herbivore.
Okay. What about someone who feeds only on meat?
Carnivore.
And the one that does both?
Omnivore.
Okay. Feeding is so important that over millions of years, predators have gained skills and weapons that help them to hunt. Prey animals do not want to be eaten, so they have gained defenses. Some, such as chipmunks, defend themselves by living in burrows under the ground. This book looks at what animals eat. It looks at the battle between predators and prey, how hunters try to catch a meal, and how their meals do their best to survive. Okay? So a little bit of questions here for you. When a barn owl catches a shrew, it has a meal that provides energy and nutrients. Where are the nutrients and energy come from?
The sun and the plant.
Okay.
Or the animal previous. But it comes from the sun because the sun's energy goes to the plant. When the slug eats the plant from the sun, energy from the sun goes from the plant to the slug, and then from the slug to the shrew, and then from the shrew.
So it comes from a lot of places, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you're right. It comes actually from the slugs and other animals that the shrew ate. So everything that the shrew ate is where he gets his nutrients from. But where did the nutrients and the energy come from?
The sun.
Okay. They came from the plants that the beetles and the slugs ate. So they actually came from the plants. And where did those nutrients and energy come from?
The sun.
The sun. There you go. All right. So. All right. Links and chains. A successful barn owl carries a shrew to a safe place where it can be fed, or where it can feed. So you see the owl. It's carrying the shrew. Okay. So the nutrients plants contain a pass on through a chain of animals. First they pass on or pass the plant-eating animals, which are known as herbivores. We talked about that. Then they pass the meat-eating animals known as carnivores. There are always fewer carnivores than plant-eating animals. If there were more carnivores, they would eventually wipe out the animals they feed on. At the top of the food chain are species like the barn owl that no animal feeds on. So nobody feeds on the barn owl. These are known as apex predators. So what's an apex predator?
Something, animal that no one wants to deal with or eat.
Okay, good. So recycling nutrients. When plants and animals die, their bodies are broken down into fungi, worms, and other what?
Materials.
Okay, decomposers. So they break it down and they disappear. They go into decomposers. The nutrients contained in the rotting remains eventually mix with the soil. This makes the soil more fertile and help new plants to grow. So building a web. This is what you're going to be doing on the Poplet website. Okay. So all plants and animals are linked into food chains. Food chains contain different species, but they always build from plants at the bottom to large predators at the top. The food chains in the habitat connect to form a feeding web of links. This is called a food web. All right. In a food web, the arrow point towards animals that are higher up in the food chain. So in the bottom, you got it's kind of hard to say. Phytoplankton. Phytoplankton.
Phytoplankton.
I'll say phyto. You say phyto? All right.
Phyto.
So as you go up, you can see the zooplankton, the shellfish, starfish, crab. All right, and then it goes up to, from the zooplankton, you got squid, herring, and then up even further, you got tuna, and then at the very top, what do we got?
Killer whale.
Killer whale. What else we got?
We also have a shark and a whale shark.
A whale shark. So they're all animals in where?
They're all apex predators.
At the top,
And
right?
a food web.
All right, and those animals are all from the
Food web.
water, so they're aquatic. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and have you complete your Poplet food web. Okay. So it should just take a few minutes, and we're going to go ahead and type this up. Do you have any questions for me right now? Before we get started on that, I'm going to cover 3 words. Okay. The 3 words that we talk about in building a web were what?
Habitat.
Species,
Predators.
predators, and habitat. Right. So species are what?
Species are a group of living things.
Okay, a group of living organisms consisting of similar individuals capable of exchanging genes and or breeding, interbreeding. Okay, and then we had predators. What's a predator?
Predator is an animal or thing or person who feeds on a lower.
Okay, hopefully not a person, but an animal that naturally preys on another.
Yeah, a person could.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess a person.
Animal.
Yeah, and then they could eat it, right?
Yeah.
So that's true. Okay, so an animal that naturally preys on others. And habitat?
Habitat is a place, a natural home for animals, plants, or other organisms.
Okay, good. So yeah, that's exactly right. The natural home of an environment of an animal, plant, or other organism. Okay? So those are 3 words that you're going to see and use while you're doing this food web. So now we're going to take some time and we're going to work on this food web, and then we're going to go ahead and write a small paragraph about what you've learned. Okay? Any questions for me?
Mm-mm.